Kiyosaki has his quadrants, right? There's like the employee and self-employed, business owner, and investor. This is not that. That's different. That's like your role in an organization, I guess I would think of it as. This is more like a mindset thing. And what I realized is it's not cadet or general either. There is this idea of cadet and general, but it was more nuanced than that. It was deeper. And I wrapped it inside my own story. And here's the 2-minute nutshell. When I started, I was unclogging toilets and painting every unit. That is what I call the DIY mindset. Now, when I talk about mindset, what I mean is the way you solve problems. That's what mindset means, is the way you approach a problem. So when I had a problem, like a clogged toilet, I approached it with the DIY. I will do it myself. Then after a while, I got tired of that, doing it all myself. And so then I thought, I'm going to hire someone else to do it. So I hired my mother-in-law to answer phones. I hired a local plumber to go out and unclog the toilet. And then I would write the check to the plumber, or I'd even sometimes meet the plumber there and be like, yeah, let me unlock the door for you. So in other words, yeah, I hate that. I hate that role, but I call it the project manager. It's not like a project manager is like deeply involved, but they're not physically doing the task. They all the little tasks. That's fine for some people. They might love that. And some people might love the DIY. Nothing wrong with it. Some people might like project management. I just didn't fit either one. So then the third level, which I feel like most business books will guide you to be, and that is what I call the COO mindset. It's the idea of I'm going to build a company and the company is going to solve the problem. So I'm going to be the COO or CEO, whatever title you want to put there. Again, this is about mindset, not titles. I'm going to be in charge, and around me, I'm going to have employees. So I'm going to have a project manager over here. I'm going to have a acquisitions guy. I'm going to have this one. I'm going to have this one. And you are the center of that kind of like web and the people around you. And that's a great way to run a business. Most business owners would love to get to that level, because now at that point, you're not doing much of the day-to-day at all. You're just leading a team. Yeah, you're just managing a team. But the key word is you're managing a team. And so even in that role, when I got to that point, I was like, I don't really like this. Like, I don't like having 6 people that report to me and all these like department heads that report to me. I don't care if I'm running the company. I still have to work 40 or 50, 60 hours a week to run this company. That sucks. And yeah, anyway, I don't want to do that. So I came up with this like 4th level, because I looked at guys like Richard Branson isn't the CEO or maybe title wise, but he's not running anything. I doubt he knows half the company's running. I looked at my buddy David Osborne, who started GoBundance. Osborne, like when he buys a company or starts a company, he doesn't go hire 4 VPs and meet with them every week or every day. I'm like, so what is that role? What is that thing that very few people can do? And the best word I can say, I've got 2 words that I interchangeably use. One is the architect, which comes from The Matrix. Our architect in the movie The Matrix was like the guy who got to plan the whole thing, but wasn't in the matrix necessarily. Like he was more like above the matrix. That was like the architect. But really the word that I've been using more lately is the energy. Richard Branson is the energy behind the Virgin Empire. David Osborne is the energy behind it. So how does the energy guy, the architect, how do they solve problems? They hire one person. They hire a CEO or they hire a COO, whatever the title is. They hire that one person and say, go build me a business. So the difference being, let me tell you 2 completing stories and then I'll shut up. Number 1, I wanted to build a kite selling business on Amazon. Well, like this was 6 years ago. But I thought selling kites, no one does that, but lots of people like flying kites. Why don't we sell them online? And I pre-open door capital. I was looking for a way to make more money. This is even before I wrote my book. So I was like, I need more like cash coming in. And my rentals, yeah, they make money, but as everyone knows with rentals, yeah, you make a bunch of money. It's a business and you spend a bunch and then, you need a new roof and you need a new water heater. Anyway, so I'm like, I need more money. Maybe I'll sell kites. And I had a buddy who was making like $100,000 a month on Amazon. And I was like, all right, if this guy can do it, I can do it. So anyway, so the first thing I do, I go and hire my little brother. I love my little brother, very smart guy. I'm like, hey, let me just hire you for a whole year and you run the business. So I was basically acting like a project manager. I grabbed him and I made him do it. After like 6 months, we didn't have anything. We ended up shifting to another product that was like wooden sunglasses. That didn't sell either. After a year and probably $50,000 of lost money, I finally shut it down because I didn't care about any of that stuff. Now contrast that with Open Door Capital. When I started that after that conference where I was on stage and I said, I'm going to deserve this, I went and talked to my buddy, Ryan Murdoch. He's awesome. I'd worked with him before on a real estate deal. We had partnered together. I really thought he was a smart dude, but also not just smart dude, but culturally fit and had the experience needed, right? So he had all 3. He was smart, he had culture, and he had the experience. And so I said, instead, Ryan, this is my vision. I'm the architect. This is my vision. go build it. I didn't yell at him to go build it, but I asked him, I was like, what do you think? He's like, I love this. I'm like, go build it. And he's, yeah.
I said, Ryan,
and he went out there.
It.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ryan built it.
Go build it.
Go build it, man. Go build it. He built it. And I didn't have to build it. And so he built it. It was amazing. And so I got to play an architect. I got to cast the vision. I got to see where things are going from a high level. And I get involved sometimes. I'll go do a webinar when we're trying to raise money for a big real estate deal like we are right now. I'll go do a webinar. I'll go, I've talked to 2 investors out of 1,000 of our limited partners we have. I've talked to 2 of them on the phone ever. And that was like a very rare case. So I don't do most of that stuff, but the difference is mindset. So let me throw a scenario at you, and then I promise I'll shut up. You're going to go start a carpet company. You're going to go lay carpet. For me, man. You probably got lots of questions. All right. So you're going to start a carpet laying business, right? Yeah. I'm going to go lay carpet because I think that's going to be a successful business. Great.
Nice.
The DIYer goes to YouTube and types in, how do I lay carpet? How do I get a carpet stretcher? The next level, the project manager says, who can I find to lay some carpet for me? I'll probably still take the phone calls for now, but like, I don't want to actually hurt my knees and get down on my hands and knees and lay carpet. So I'm going to hire these 3 dudes over here, and they're going to come in and lay the carpet for me. The third level says, I think a carpet company would be great. What does that company look like? I would need a VP of sales. I would need a VP of marketing. I would need a project manager to oversee the construction or the crew that lays it. I would need a finance guy, and I would need an office building. And they go boom, and they just build that team. And now they're meeting with their 4 VPs every day, making sure the work gets done. Nothing wrong with that. But the architect, what they do, they go out and buy a carpet company. Or they find one dude and they're like, hey, go build me a carpet company. And that guy goes builds a carpet company. And here's the key, or here's the 2 super important points about this. Number 1, no level is bad. This is not a moral or ethical thing. There's no level that's bad. You might love being a DIYer. Nothing wrong with that. There's areas of my life I still DIY my stuff. This quality video in front of me, I DIY'd this. It's my camera. I set it up. I like doing this stuff. It's okay.
Wow.
Right?
Great job, Brandon.
Thanks, man. So I like that DIY stuff when it comes to technology. Nothing wrong with that. However, while there's nothing wrong with it, every level has a limit.
Yes.
You're not flipping 50 houses a year if you're doing all the painting. You're not going to build a $100 million business when you're answering the phone's customer service. It's just not going to be the case. So every level, the higher you go in the level, the fewer hours are required, but the more money you make. Think about McDonald's. Who makes the most money there? The owner. Who works the most? The frontline worker making $9 an hour. Like those people work the most, they make the least. The person at the top works the highest level mindset, works the least, but makes the most amount of money. So that's point number 1, is every level has a limit. And point number 2, and this is vital, you get to choose where you start. And this is the thing that I wish somebody would have told me 15 years ago. Is I assumed that you had to work through this in order to get to the top level. I didn't even know architect existed, but I assumed in order to have a company, you had to start DIY, move up, and eventually hire some people and eventually pull yourself out. That's what everybody does, is they say they're going to pull themselves out of their business eventually. But what if you ask the question, what if I started this with doing 0 work? Or to pull Tim Ferriss's question from the 4-Hour Workweek, if you had a gun against your head that said you can only work 4 hours a week at this, what would you do? And that just asking that question changes how you think about building a business. And so today, the best way to get into that mindset, the best way to elevate your mindset is hire the one below you, right? If you want to be a project manager, hire the DIYer, hire the person who's going to do the work. If you want to be an architect, hire a CEO or a COO, hire your leader. The second way to get in that mindset is to ask yourself WW like EMD or WWBTD. What would Elon Musk do? Get that little bracelet, like WWJD bracelets we all had back in the 90s. Like get one of those little bracelets, but like WWRBD.
He would tweet about it.
Exactly. He would tweet about it. But Elon Musk actually is probably not the best example because he is an architect, but he's an architect, but Elon Musk is probably also every other role because he's a freak and he's probably not human. So like Elon does all of it. He's probably down, right? He's on the floor. Yeah. Jeff Bezos is a better example. Richard Branson is probably the ultimate guy I can think of.
Perfect.
Like what would Richard Branson do if he was going to start a carpet company? Like, he would not learn how to lay carpet. Like this wouldn't even occur to him. He wouldn't even investigate whether that market had a niche, if there was a need for it. Somebody else would do all of that for him because he's now obviously you can complain about money and it costs a lot of money to get there, but it doesn't actually. Like it's literally mindset and you get to choose. So there you go. back to you.
And now for a brief commercial break from Brandon's architect company.
There we go. Yes. Let me tell you, for only $29,997, I can teach you how to be a